Woo! Good afternoon, people. It's good to see you guys. Happy Saturday. Oh my goodness. I'm glad to see you guys. I did go live yesterday. I had a little bit of a busy personal day yesterday. But I went live late Thursday night, and it was really fun. It was just we were just kicking it, man. It was really cool. So thank you guys to those of you who who were here and those who watched the replay. And yeah, I went ahead and said fuck it. Part of my personal day yesterday was I had to go into the city and go to the mall. I went and I decided to watch Beetlejuice. It was decent. It was all right. Wasn't great, but it was okay. I liked it. Yeah. And so when I was in the mall, I found myself searching for a Miami Heat jersey, but there were none. But while I was in there, I thought, you know what? I think it's time I get a Boston Red Sox cap. I like the Boston Red Sox, and I have been told that I am an honorary masshole Bostonian. So I figured I might as well just rock it, you know? Yeah. So we got a few things that we're going to talk about tonight. We got a few things that we're not right, Cherry. That we're going to talk about. First thing I'm going to do, we're going to go over a couple of things on Twitter. Just fun shit just to laugh at. But there's also a story that just broke about a young man named Enrique Garcia Delgado. And we will be going over what we know about that. And I'm not sure if we'll do it today. I know I promised that in the next couple of days. On Thursday, I said I was going to go into a depth of the Brian Walsh case, which I plan on doing still. It's just that this Enrique thing came out, and I think it's important that while it's still fresh out and you know, this is the best chance to get it trending, get people talking about it. So talk about it as quick as I possibly could, as much as information as I had. But we'll get to that in a bit. In the meantime, we're going to keep the mood light first, because oh man, I'm starting to really. It's really strange because I've always had a Twitter handle, you know, I was just never active on it, man. I think before I started following this case, I had maybe 800 Twitter followers, maybe. And so, but it just turned out to be a really, really like strong hub of sharing information and interaction and exchanges uh in regards to this case. And I've grown to enjoy it. It does get, I could see for some people how it can get really exhausting. It gets exhausting for me sometimes, but most of the time I'm just like, whatever, like at this point, it's like there's nothing that they can say about me, like it gets a little tough when they go for like the really low hanging fruit bullshit, and it's just like that's where you got to go. But but immediately I'm like, it's always that though, so it's like, what are you gonna say now that hasn't been said? You know what I mean? Like, and if these things that they were saying were true, or true in the sense that they think they understand these things, well then okay, you know but they're not, so it just doesn't bother me. But mostly Twitter is just like, once in a while you see an exchange and it's just like boom, and it's fucking fantastic. Now listen, Jennifer Coffindoffer has blocked me on Twitter, but something happened recently which is really, really funny, because Jennifer Coffindoffer is a whole lot of fun. She's not in any way, shape, or form the threat that she was designed to be, as far as being a loud, effective voice on behalf of the McAlberts. It was planned that way. It was designed to be that, and it just failed because she's so stupid. So one beautiful example just took place, and I'm gonna go ahead and share this. Uh, so right here, if you remember, months and months and months ago, people, David Yannetti, and I think it was before the trial started, if I remember correctly. Maybe, I mean, wasn't it that far back that it was like just before the trial started, or something happened or was about to happen that was very significant in the case, and I just can't remember, but it was a while back, dude. So he quoted this, and you know what I should do, actually? Let me see if I can because I want to see the actual post. Okay. So I want to read how this originated. So back in I believe it was February 25th, this was posted. David Yannetti posted, the cerebral ninja, as I like to call him, posted, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his peace shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So basically saying if you don't get out there and fight and even if you fail, man, at least you got out there and fucking got dirty. You know what I mean? You got mud on you. So you know, it's better than those who never even had the balls, you know? So great stuff. And I feel as though when David Yannetti posted this, I feel as though he did that in reference to Karen's fight, of course, but I feel like he directed that towards everyone. Otherwise, he wouldn't have put it so publicly. I think it was very important, and I think it was beautiful. And this is a quote from Teddy Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt. Now, Theodore Roosevelt was awesome, and he now he posted this in February. I want to see where. Hold on a second. Um. So yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to that. Hold on. So give me 1 second here. Let me go back to what I had before because she has me blocked, so I can't read her post. So somebody took a screenshot of it and. Um, dude, where is that? Dude, I totally had the screenshot. Hold on. I think I just reposted it. So hold on. There we go. Okay, here we go. So Jennifer Coffinoff comments on this like all these months later, you know? Like it's from a post from the 25th of February, and she like posts a comment here saying pathetically plagiarized from the great Theodore Roosevelt without giving President Roosevelt credit. So so totally ignorant. Like, I mean, the cheapest, most childish dig that she could take. The cheapest, most childish dig that she could take at David Yannetti, who is fighting a very uphill battle right now, an entire system of corruption. And so David Yannetti fires back. Of course he does. I mean, well, it's funny because like you wouldn't expect him to. And I can totally picture him saying this, you know, and I don't do a good David Yannetti impression, but I'll try to do it in his tone. I'll do the best I can of how I hear it in my mind of him saying that shit. And she says, pathetically plagiarized from the great Theodore Roosevelt without giving President Roosevelt credit. And then David Yannetti says, my goodness, what a silly, unsophisticated person you are. Oh my God. Holy shit, bro. This dude just comes out of nowhere, dude. Like, it's so funny. David Yannetti, I love his style so much. And it's funny because it comes through in fucking text. You know what I mean? I love his style so much, dude, because like he's just like so chill, so polite, but so cutthroat at the same time. Like it's wild. Like he'll just walk up to you and be like, "Oh, excuse me," and slit your throat. You know what I mean? And you're like, "Holy shit, what the fuck just happened?" I fucking love David Yannetti, dude. Like he is amazing. So let's keep going with the comment here. You don't understand. I laughed so fucking hard when I read this. As if anyone does not recognize the famous words of Teddy Roosevelt, words that have inspired many for generations and continue to inspire me today. I put his words between quotation marks specifically to attribute them, not to take credit for them. Guy, dude. Like, it's so funny because he starts the whole thing off with a straight up insult, like just a straight insult, and then like just states some fact here very calmly to the point. It's fantastic. In addition to Strunk and White lesson, you could also use a refresher course in constitutional law, as you obviously have zero respect for the presumption of innocence. Please go away and please go away and pontificate about some case that you actually understand. Oh my God, dude. David Yannetti just fucking comes out of nowhere. It's so funny to me. Oh my God, that shit is so funny to me, dude. And then there's fun little comments. There's fun little comments. So so Plevin of course has to chime in, right? Right after David Yannetti makes this comment, Plevin has to chime in, right? And he says, the presumption of innocence apparently did not apply to the innocent people you have targeted with a baseless third-party culprit theory. You fed all that information to a turtle creep. Again, boom. Immediately, there you go. It's about Turtle Boy. Then lied to Boston Magazine writer Gretchen Voss about your extensive communication with this man who has publicly called for the O'Keefe family to burn in hell. You disrupted an elementary school with your stunt during the trial, asking Lucky to meet you there and later lying about it. Was all this worth it? The big case, break of a lifetime, was it worth the price you paid? Teddy Roosevelt also said this. He's too lazy to spell out Roosevelt. The chief factor in any man's success or failure must be his own character. Maybe you should print that and put it on your desk for inspiration. Now we all know Plevin, right? Now, first off, I got to say that that's probably the first time that that I've ever read through a Plevin post in its entirety. Okay. Now he says this, and of course it's all bullshit. I dismiss it immediately because what it is just him thinking that he's getting some sort of platform to spin his narrative and push his agenda in a place where everyone's going to see it, because David Yannetti commented back to Jennifer Koffenhofer and everybody's looking at it. So he figures he can jump on that stage and start soapboxing, and act like it's directed at Yannetti when it's actually directed at the world. Listen to me. That's all he's doing there. So of course I see this, and then I make a meme. I make this meme. Uh, I speak softly, but Plevin has massive boinking nipples. Theodore Roosevelt, 1904, people. I quoted him and I gave him credit, folks. I quoted him and I gave him credit, okay? Massive boinking nipples. Credit also goes to Jen Altman for that immortal classic, boinking nipples. Boinking nipples is one of my favorite things that I've ever heard ever in my life. Now hold on. I think there's more to this. What did I okay, hold on. I reposted a couple things. And then just a reminder that Jennifer Coffendorfer was in direct communication with Michael Morrissey's office here. You can see that District Attorney Michael Morrissey, Proctor was a recipient, Guarino was a recipient, Buchanan was a recipient. Forward just to be aware of Twitter post. And here you see them talking about she's a retired FBI agent with an enormous Twitter reach who has provided context pushback to of the more easily debunked aspects of the social media blitz. Now, Turtle Boy uncovered this, I believe. So here, basically, it's safe to say, based on that Jennifer Coffendorfer is a mouthpiece for the McAlberts. Just a horrible one. Like, they are really bad at picking spokespeople. I have to say that I find it interesting how the McAlberts and these allegedly corrupt members of the Massachusetts State Police are who they're trusting to spin their agenda, to push their agenda, to get the public on their side. It's very strange choices, man. Like you have Plevin, who's on court TV speaking on behalf. I mean, he's the guy. Like, he's the guy on court TV speaking on behalf of the McAlberts and the Massachusetts State Police. It's very fascinating. I mean, there's also you got to take into consideration here, because this is interesting. If I can find it, yeah, this is interesting. Because you guys know who Julie Grant is, right? I think most of you do, correct? Now let me just gotta email something to myself real quick. Okay. Now, this is interesting because second. All right. Did it not send or something? All right, there we go. All right, so check this out. So this is, you all know Kate Peter. And she writes this, says, this photo has been provided to me by the loved ones of John O'Keefe with the request, and now I don't have the photo, but the request that we flood social media with this image. He is the victim. Just him, not Karen Reed. With her hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations from gullible trash people that fund her expensive dinners, hotel stays, tailored suits, and beauty services. He left this earth too soon, and if that wasn't painful enough for those he left behind, the harassment, disparagement, threats, and intimidation attempts ordered by Karen and carried out by a blogger and his mob certainly are. This is about justice for John only. If they get away with doing this to him and his family, you and yours could be next. Now, that's very interesting coming from somebody who has multiple TPOs right now. Multiple, like several. She has several protective orders on her right now for harassment and stalking and shit. Doing crazy fucking shit. Now, it's very interesting because look who reposted this thing here. See, I got the arrow pointed to it. Julie Grant reposted this post from what's her face? Kate Peter. I mean, so this is the kind of support that Court TV is giving the McAlberts. If Julie Grant is following this girl and supporting her, she has to know what she's been up to. She has to know what's been going on. And it's very strange. Now, folks, I'm going to show you something else too. Now, Julie Grant, there's something very interesting about Julie Grant. Let's go over to our friend Microdots so I could show you guys this little interesting tidbit about Julie Grant. Now, this was May 25th, 2023. Okay?
We start this hour with a fascinating case happening in Boston. It involves the murder of a Boston police officer, and the officer's girlfriend, Karen Reed, is the accused. But she says she's being framed. Jennifer McCabe, homeowner Brian Albert's sister-in-law, was searching on her phone how long to die in cold on January 29th, 2022 at 2:27 a.m. There is simply no innocent explanation for McCabe's search at that time. The evidence unequivocally exonerates Karen Reed because it establishes that individuals who were in the house at 34 Fairview that night were aware that John was dying in the snow before Karen even knew that he was missing.
Sources say investigators have video of the incident on doorbell cameras.
Now, in addition to that very incriminatory Google search, Reed's attorneys also discovered that they apparently deleted 18 calls from that night, as well as 7 phone calls between Albert and McCabe. The prosecution's case just might get destroyed tonight. Boy, does that stink. Almost as bad as the facts of this case stink. Josh Schiffer.
We talk all the time about how trials in criminal justice is so often a quest to hide something. The defense stood up and said, hey, we know there's this evidence out there. And the judge turned around and shut them down. I am flabbergasted. I would be as uproariously angry as counsel was. I'm shocked that the truth is being stymied here by the state in what really looks like a cover-up now.
I think Karen Reed is innocent. And I think they believe this with all of their hearts.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know a lot of our courties think so too. They think that this
I'm
is an
with
innocent
you,
woman
she
who's
said.
being framed and just outnumbered. There's nothing worse than a dirty cop. You know, I'll take a criminal all day long before a dirty cop, right? Because they're
held to a high standard.
and that maybe those bite marks we're looking at right there might have been from a dog.
There's zero question of this.
You know, in the house or from a fight. You know, who knows? If they're right, I mean, what might happen there to this department?
Well, sadly, Julie, this is where I'm talking potentially about a dirty cop. We may be talking about several dirty cops. There's a conspiracy,
Absolutely.
and it's going to force certain individuals to answer very, very hard questions because that evidence is going to be irrefutable. Phone calls that were made, phone calls that were placed, received.
It's a little strange, folks. I gotta say that it's a little weird, isn't it? It's a little weird that back in May of 2023, Court TV was being absolutely honest. This is how you know that they were being honest then and being dishonest now. Okay? Because the opinion and the narrative of Court TV has changed since then. That's a fact. Julie Grant has done nothing but trash Karen Reed, make Karen Reed out to be the guiltiest person alive. She's done it on Court TV and she's done it on Twitter. A lot. And this is her right now, just back in May of 2023, folks. Not even a year and a half ago. And all of those people, they're saying everything. And that is, think about what was public at this point. The only thing that was public was the Celebrite data. Really. And a few of the court documents and everything, the statements and things like that. But I mean, the stuff that came up in pretrial, like during motions hearings, the big bombshells that happened, those hadn't happened yet. You know? So think about that. So here we are, and these guys in May of 2023 are sitting here talking about this, and they believe, just based on a few things, the basics, sleuthy goosey spreadsheet stuff. That's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what they're talking about. You could tell they did their homework. And then for some reason, it's completely different now. For some reason now, it's completely different. Julie Grant, the more exculpatory evidence that has become more public, the more that Julie Grant is pushing the narrative that she's guilty. And that makes no sense. And Julie Grant is a correspondent for Court TV. She represents Court TV. Make no fucking mistake about that. So this is the Court TV thing. That's why I lumped Vinnie Politan in with all that shit. It took a long time for me to get there, man. But I've been trying, man. I've been pushing for Vinnie. But sorry, Vinnie. You know? But the fact that Julie Grant would repost something from Kate, Wash Your Hair, Peter, and she's got all this trouble with the law right now for doing the things that she's accusing Turtle Boy and everyone else of doing, who are not doing these things. And the more time goes by, the more exculpatory evidence becomes apparent. I mean, everything that's happened with the jury and everything like that, it makes no sense that Julie Grant would feel this way back in May of 2023 and then feel the way she does now. It doesn't make sense. Nobody with a brain would make this error. That's something dirty. That is someone being paid or being pushed in some way to push a narrative. Because nobody with any ounce of common sense is going to believe that she is going to feel this way back in May of 2023. And now all of a sudden, after everything that's come out, after this trial happened, everything, she's going to be so adamant about pushing the narrative that Karen Read is guilty. That makes no sense.
The research that was done, Google searches, things of that nature, that there is no way to explain away. As an investigator, this is exactly the kind of evidence that I rely on. Who are the first 5 people they spoke to? Develop their identities, interview those folks. What did you talk about? What was the conversation like? What was that person's demeanor? What was going on? You can't push back on because it is irrefutable. You have to explain these details.
You're trusting that someone else did an honest investigation. Did they not see what might be happening?
And like good cops, good prosecutors get angry when they see that kind of corruption.
I got to tell you, this guy has grown on me so much. He's grown on me to the point to where I could safely say that's my favorite correspondent on Court TV currently. And as a matter of fact, I might even say he's the only one I feel comfortable saying that I like. I mean, am I wrong? This dude is dope as fuck. This guy has stuck to his guns this entire time. He's the only one that has stuck to his guns this entire time. Think about it. Think about it. This guy sounds the same now when he talks about this case as he did back then.
The mere appearance of impropriety. Whenever you see something that just doesn't pass the smell test, and that's what we've got here from the outside looking in, I can see how this case unfolds, how the scapegoat, Miss Reed, gets picked, and how this case proceeds to right now.
Who lost the love of her life, who is being falsely accused, and who is going through this process probably as shocked and appalled as the rest of us.
You're right. She went through a trauma. That's one thing to remember, too. You know, she might be a defendant, but she was traumatized without question, trying to save his life, trying to do CPR at the end of all of that.
Wow, Julie. Bro, the sound? Microdots is amazing, bro. Dude, I can't wait to see what he's going to be doing with Mizzy. I can't wait to see that.
We've got.
All right, shut up. So yeah, man, dude. How are we not supposed to think that there's so much dirty shit going on? You know what I mean? Like it's leaked into the media. Now something happened today, and I want to talk about this because I would be remiss if I did not. I need to talk about this. And this is part of the reason why I'm rocking my Boston hat today. Because I got to tell you guys, you locals out there, especially all of you that I saw out there today, standing in front of the Canton Police Department. Let me see if I can pull some footage of that, because I got to give you guys your propers on this, man. Let's first hear. I want to give a real quick, shout out of love to Tom CPU in the chat. I want to give a big shout out of love to um, Rita Lombardi, Dana and Tracy, uh, Scott McGinnis, uh, Mazza Media, Mike Crawford, Young Jerks. Man, that was, to me, seeing that every time, always, it's great.
I think we got a super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
Gary, thank you so much. Hi, love you. Marry me? Oh, you don't want to marry me, man. Like, seriously, like, you can't even like take out a life insurance policy on me that's worth a shit. Like, don't even, yeah. So for your own protection, the answer is respectfully no. Don't you know I beat women? Yeah, no, you don't want to marry me, bro. So let's look into this, man, because you've got Mazza Media, Young Jerks, Rita Lombardi, you've got Peter Murphy out there, you've got Dana and Tracy, everybody who I named. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic and really inspiring to see. And here's Rita, and this is what I love. Now, this is the first time that I've seen this happen at a standout where there's an organized press presence here where they set up microphones for the people to talk. The press, mainstream media, mainstream local media has given them a better voice than their own officials on the Canton Select Board in their own town. And I think that that's amazing. So I'm not going to say bad things about mainstream media too much, at least not the local news stations. And oh my God, let me go over these real quick before I play Rita's video. Pilgrim Shadow gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Ernie Birdie's a new member, and Joseph Kane just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you guys so much. You guys are absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, I think that that's great. Those are all news microphones set up right there. And I think that that's a wonderful thing. So I'd love to see what the news is going to do with this. But let's hear Rita.
Is law-abiding. We are all law-abiding citizens. We are peaceful, and we pay our taxes, our fair share of taxes. People who are not law-abiding, who do not pay their fair share of taxes, and who terrorize people for speaking the truth, do not support the blue. We support the blue. We support the good blue. We support the blue who are law-abiding, who work collaboratively with their community, who do things ethically. We support you. We do not support blue that do not follow the law and entitled to being above the law. No one is entitled to be above the law. We support the blue, the good blue.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Esty was out there too, man. Everybody was out there, dude. Like, it was dope. So let me go over a little bit more here. Okay, hold on. Yeah, let me show a little bit of Mike Crawford's video here.
Oh, you got a jerk for justice. Thank you so much. Wow. We listen to you. That's amazing.
We have something in the truck you might like.
Oh, definitely check it out after.
Okay.
I'll hit you up. I'm going to see what's going on over here. Huge crowd.
I mean, look at that, dude. That's a lot of people. And I got to talk about how, real quick, for those of you who aren't local, for those of you who are new to what's going on and you have somewhat of an understanding of what's going on, try to visualize what it might be like being a Canton resident and being out there showing your face in front of news cameras, in front of YouTubers, and speaking loudly and being just so vocal about your rights and against corruption. The courage that takes to live in that town and do that is unbelievable. I need everyone real quick to really take a second and soak that in. Like, please do that for just a moment, because it's really important. Just try to visualize for a moment what it must be like for the people who live there in Canton, who are this vocal. I mean, they've had bleach or acid thrown on their lawns. These people have bad threats. It's crazy. You have Buchanan knocking on people's doors, asking them questions. You've got Brian Tully flying across the country to interview people. This is scary. Make no mistake, these people are afraid, but there's nothing. That is not to say anything bad about their character or anything negative or to minimize their character in any way. What I mean is, and I've explained this before, is what you're seeing is a bunch of people who are sick and tired of being afraid. They're not they're not the scared type. Yet they are scared because they are afraid that what happened to Karen Reed could happen to any of them. They're afraid that there is an absolute network of corruption, that it's an umbrella that they're all living under, an umbrella of corruption that they're all living under. And these people have the strength, the courage to go out there and not only be vocal and truly exercise their First Amendment rights. They are strong in the sense that they are doing it in a way that they are setting an example of how you should exercise your First Amendment right. They are peaceful. They are respectful. They are kind to each other. They're welcoming. They're hospitable. These are all extremely kind people. I met them myself. They are extremely kind people. And they're also very passionate. So to be out there and be so vocal and be so peaceful and be so kind to one another and be respectful to other people who heckle them, that takes an unbelievable strength. And I'm really grateful to be associated with people like this. It's incredibly inspiring. Incredibly.
Independent firm to come in and audit the police department and audit the payroll records and
Now,
collective bargaining.
Rita goes over some figures here, and they're insane. Like, when I heard what Lank was making, I was like, what?
The agreement and everything else that is going on at the police department. We have a right to know what is going on, and we need a police audit. So if you know anyone in the business who does police audits, please reach out to them and ask them to email Randy Scollins. It's rscollins@town.canton.ma.us. Please, time is of the essence. The request for proposals end September 30th at noon. We are begging you to please reach out to people that you know so that they can come in here and do an audit. We have an audit committee that has 5 members on it. And we have a salary website. We have 40 full-time employees in the Canton Police Force. Of the 40 employees, 11 of them, 11, but 28% took home 40% of the money that was paid to our police.
Wow, dude. Wow. Thank you so much, D. Only love you, but hate your shirt. It's giving me Plevin vibes. Sorry. I'm sorry. But I love my shirt. And it's a blue Boston hat, and I figured this is kind of a bluish shirt, so it's like the same tone color. So that's why I wore it. Because I still have new shirts that I haven't even worn yet.
That is a lot of money. And of the top 11, 3 were
Yeah, let's hear that one more time.
Of the money that was paid to our police. That is 40%, 11, but 28% took home 40%.
11 employees for the Canton Police Department took home 40% of the entire department's income. Let that sink in for a second. If you've ever done P&Ls, if you've ever done those for any small business, then you know that that's insane. That's way too much money being spent on labor. Yeah. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It doesn't matter. Like, that is an insane amount to be spending on labor. Insane amount. It's not even like, oh, that's pretty high. No, that's fucking nuts. 40% is on labor for 11 cops. 40% of it is for 11 cops. Okay. It gets better, though. Listen to what Rita says here.
Of the money that was paid to our police. That is a lot of money. And of the top 11, 3 were patrolmen. We have patrolmen in 2023 that were making, one was making $216,000 and one made $259,000. That is an
2 patrolmen. Like, she's going into detail here, folks. 2 patrolmen who each made over $200,000 in a year. Patrolmen. That's fucking crazy. That's half of what the president makes. As a patrolman. I don't understand how they're getting away with this. This is insane. Like, this is absolutely wild. And this is just in Canton, folks. This is the Canton Police Department. The Canton Police Department, who were responsible for the Red Solo Cup incident, who were responsible for the leaf blower incident. The Canton Police Department, where they clearly have no training, nor do they have the materials to preserve a crime scene. To preserve a crime scene. Basic shit that you would assume is training in a police when you're a cop.
An 80% increase for one in 2 years. He got an 80% increase, and the other one got a 69% increase from 2021 to 2023. Something is wrong when people get those kinds of increases. And let's not forget Paul Gallagher, the top guy at the scene for John O'Keefe. He made $259. He made $320,000 in 2023. And Mike Lake made $247,000, a 31% increase. So, and we have so much love here. So many people are coming by here today, offering us love and are showing their support for the citizens that are standing up against power, for truth and justice. And we did have, as we always have in Canton, the McGalbert salute. So we did have someone come through and give us the McGalbert salute. Oh, yeah. And then we had a witnesses.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you guys. Sorry about that. So Young Black Economist says, okay, average across the country is like 30 to 40% of local budget goes to cops, which a lot of researchers think is too high. So Canton is on the high end. Not good. Shaking my head. Okay, but here's what's interesting about what you just said. Now, you would know, I mean, if you're an economist, you're going to know better than I am. I promise. One thing I have always been really bad at is money. Now, I can manage someone else's money. My own, can't do it. I've done it most of my adult life, but so here I'm like, I'm reading your comment and you're saying 30 or 40% of local budget goes to cops. Now, what that tells me is that I'm not sure that you understand what this is, in the sense that it's not the town budget that's going to cops. That's not what that is. This is the police department budget, 40% going to 11 cops in the police department. So the police department budget alone, not the town budget, but the police department budget alone, 40% of the entire police department budget is going to 11 cops. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, actually, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about usually. So yeah, no, I mean, everything has a budget, of course, Drew. Everything has a budget, but the town itself has its own budget as well. That's what the select board meetings are mostly about, is them discussing what they're going to spend money on. But it's interesting that Chris Albert sits on the select board, isn't it? Well, that's the whole point. We're talking about These cops are getting that much salary. And then we heard, not even a year ago, we heard Chief Rafferty sitting at a select board. We watched it live, I think, sitting at a select board meeting asking for $200,000 for a new kitchen for the police department. $200,000 for a new kitchen. And this is what these people are making. And they don't have evidence bags. Dude had to go get a fucking leaf blower from his house, start blowing around snow, blowing around potential evidence. Yeah, that we're talking about money that could be going to training, because if they're incompetent, then make them competent. You know, money that could be going to training, money that could be going to all kinds of shit. Were you the cashier at Piggly Wiggly? Yeah. Lee Mercy, welcome to Logic. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Dude, this is wild, man. And again, I'm not hating on a cop for that shit, but I'm saying, man, like, how? Bruh. As of September 6th, 2024, listen to this. As of September 6th, 2024, the average annual salary for a police detective in Miami, okay, in Miami, in a major city where there's a lot of crime, but brings in a lot of revenue. Miami brings in a lot of revenue, okay? So think about that. Now, I'm going to continue reading. As of September 6th, 2024, the average annual salary for a police detective in Miami is $65,717 with a range of $27,472 to $92,837. Okay? The majority of salaries fall between $55,400 and $79,600. Wow. With the top 10% of earners making $90,467. So the top 10% earners, okay? The top 10% earners in Miami on the Miami Police Department, or in Miami, could be Miami-Dade Police, could be the Miami PD. The majority of salaries fall between $55,000. Now think about that. The cap, dude. The cap is $92,837, people. The cap for how much they make. That's fucking wild, dude. And these motherfuckers are getting paid to arrest people for standing outside across the street from a pizza shop with a sign. These motherfuckers are getting paid $200,000 a year to fucking investigate rubber duckies. And a Miami cop who has to dig babies out of trash dumpsters gets paid half that shit at best. Something is seriously wrong in the town of Canton. Something is seriously wrong in the county of Norfolk. Something is seriously wrong in the state of Massachusetts. In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Yeah, Olivia, you're right, dude. Like, that's fucking wild, man. Lala, thank you so much. The layers of this Massachusetts police union runs deep and stinks bad. Yeah. I mean, I don't know enough about it, but thank you so much. I don't know enough about it, but I mean, dude, it sure looks like it runs deep, doesn't it? Dude, how did they get away with that? And it's right in everyone's face.
This child, 12-year-old child, come back with the witness driving the car, yelling profanities out the window. Okay? That's not what you find on the Free Karen Reed movement. That's not what you find for Sandra Birchmore. And that's another thing. The Canton police have botched murder investigations. So we don't have a problem paying top dollar to our police force, but we expect performance.
There you go. There you go.
And when we pay someone $320,000, and the best he can do is solo cuts a leaf blower and leave the crime scene abandoned, and everything else that was done to botch that investigation, what are we paying for? We need to pay for performance. And if they're not doing their performance, then we do not need to give them increases. So we need to take a look at what's going on with the police salaries, monies, and what people are doing for performance, because this is wrong. We need truth and justice and accountability. And that's what we need, and that's what we're here for today. We are standing up, and that is why this police audit is so important. Please, please, we are begging you, for people that know and do police audits, please ask them to email our scholars.
Okay. Oh, man. I love when I get people in my chat, dude, that are just fucking smart. I love that shit. Young Black Economist says, yeah, you can calculate an adjusted rate for cost of living to compare across the country if you want to be precise. But just to get an idea, you can look at a few cities. You can calculate an adjusted rate for cost of living to compare across the country if you want to be precise. But when you get an idea, you can look at a few cities. Okay, I see what you're saying. So it depends on the cost of living of the place there. Sure. But that's my point is let's just say that we're going by the cost of living in my and we're bringing in my comparison to the Miami PD. Miami PD detectives. Now, the cost of living in Miami is fucking ridiculous because I grew up there, and I'm telling you, it is fucking ridiculous. It is insanely expensive. And for no good reason, by the way. For no good reason. Because, movies like Bad Boys have a helicopter coming from the water in the ocean and then getting that one coastline where there's neon lights and, fucking bachata music and shit playing. So that's it. Beyond that, dude, like it's kind of a fucking armpit. I'm not even trying to lie. Like it's home, but it's kind of a fucking armpit. Like I grew up in fucking Hialeah, dude. You know what I mean? Like, and then, and then there's a nicer part. I got to live in Miami Lakes for a good while there too. But the cost of living there is fucking insane. Dude, back in like 2000, it was like $1,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. You know what I mean? Where you go somewhere in Georgia at that time and you're getting a fucking 2-bedroom for like $700. Maybe. It's wild. It's crazy. The cost of living in Miami is crazy. So if we're factoring in the cost of living in Miami and how much detectives make there versus a patrolman in Canton, I'm going to call bullshit on how much money that patrolman should be making. Fuck that.
At town.canton.town.maus. Please do it now. And thank you for your support because together we are the best. people in this country. These people that come together for this movement transcend politics. We do not care what your political beliefs are. We stand together on values and truth and justice and the American way. And we will not give up until we get truth and justice and safety for all. Thank you.
Hey, Rita. We love Rita. All right, let's. I still got stuff I want to go over. I think Mazza got up there. Is this when Mazza gets up there?
There he is. I was looking for you.
Good afternoon. We're on top of the Police Department, of course, in Canton, Massachusetts. Today, we're out here.
Mazzamania!
Which is, we can't stand by a lack of transparency from any police department in the state of Massachusetts, whether that's the Canton Police Department, another town's police department, or the state police department. We're out here in droves tonight, many people with signs, shirts, hats, everything going on right now because we're just basically tired of a lack of transparency. We want to get out here, raise awareness for not only Karen Reed's case, but Sandra Birchmore's case, and other cases that are going on. Obviously, a state police officer recently was involved in an accident, lost his life. These are things that we raise questions about, have questions about, want answers on. A lot of us have spent a lot of our time over the past year or more out here speaking at standouts all across the state, even beyond the state of Massachusetts, even in other countries, because so many people believe in this message of what's going on, anti-corruption messages. You've got the Canton Police Department that is after multiple people right now, accusing them of witness intimidation, holding signs across the street in downtown Canton, Massachusetts. You have a chief of police that won't let that go. A clerk magistrate that's already determined that it was not witness intimidation. We need the chief to just kind of not pursue that anymore. Leave those people alone. If people
and I love how this has happened because it hasn't been strategic and it was not an orchestrated effort, but it just so worked out that the type of people who want to counter protests, these fine people, are the kind of people who wind up getting protective orders on them and, causing a problem. People who just always display the most disgusting forms of behavior. And here Kate Peter can't show up to this thing, right? And that's beautiful. But here's the thing is, how you know that these people don't believe in shit? Because they're not there defending the Canton Police Department. They're not there doing that. You know why they're not doing that? Because Kate Peter's not there doing that. Because those other people don't give a shit. Neither does she. But those other people don't give a shit. You got to look at the actions and not the words. These people are constantly out there. Scott McGinnis is always out there. Always. And Turtle Boy doesn't go to every single one of them. But guess what? All of these people are always still out there. No matter what. No matter what, there are a few that are always out there. You got Dana and Tracy, Esty. You got Scott McGinnis. You got Rita. You got Dina. You got all of these people who are constantly out there. Tom CPU, of course. Always out there. And these blue shirt people only show up when it's convenient. They don't believe in what they're saying because if they did, they'd be out there just as much. It's about John. It's about John. It's about John. No, It is. Excuse me. It is about John O'Keefe. It is about Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Make no mistake about that. But the difference is that there are two sets of people who say that they're fighting for justice for him, and only one of those sets of people shows up consistently to support and fight for justice for John O'Keefe. You got to look at the actions, folks. You got to use your eyes, people. So it's amazing. It's a hell of a thing to be involved with, man. It's a hell of a thing to be associated with. I wake up grateful about it every day. Every day.
People want to have, people have the right to hold signs, to wear shirts, to hold American flags, to stand up tall and stand up proud. This is the United States of America. We do have First Amendment rights. That flag back there says "We the People." This is the United States. We need all kinds of corruption and all kinds of basically favorable treatment towards American citizens to always basically be consistent.
That's just killing it, bro.
And rules for not be. And that's exactly what we're all here for. A lot of us have been very vocal about this. We've heard from Rita Lombardi. This woman is a great example of standing tall and standing up for everything. And that's exactly what we're seeing from all these people. Many people here could be vacationing anywhere they wanted in the state of Massachusetts, going anywhere they wanted, but they dedicated their Saturday to be here. Not everyone's from Canton. Many people are. Many people are from across the state, maybe even New Hampshire and other states. But we're here because we take this message very seriously, that what goes on in this town shouldn't go on in this town. And what goes on in this town shouldn't go on in any town, not only in Massachusetts, but across this great nation, and furthermore across this world. So we're going to continue to be out here, holding signs, wearing hats, fighting for Karen's freedom. We don't agree with the way the police conducted their investigation at all. Why was there so much taillight found after the fact, after the murder of John O'Keefe that was basically placed on Karen Reed, which we do not believe in at all, which we're fighting against. We believe it was a cover-up, and we're not going to stop fighting, and we're not going to quit until we get answers on that, no matter how long it takes. We're going to continue to stand tall, stand boldly, and stand proud as long as it takes. So thank you so much.
All right. Mazza Media, guys.
Justice for Sandra Birchmore, and of course, justice for John O'Keefe.
There you go. Mazza Media, y'all. Make sure to subscribe to Mazza Media, guys. He's got a great channel.
Good.
And I really want to hear Tracy, but I can't in this video. What I'm going to do, there's one other thing I wanted to go over. Hold on a second. All right. So what I'm going to do, let's get into this Enrique Garcia Delgado thing. Now I want to be transparent with you guys. This is what I do sometimes. I explore things with you guys. So I'm still learning about this case. I heard about it, but I wanted to educate myself on it with you guys here. So what I'm going to do, let me show a video here.
Tonight, troopers are mourning one of their own. State police now confirming that a trainee died after an incident at the academy. Thank you for joining us. I'm David Wade.
And I'm Lisa Hughes. The WBZI team was the first to report this 25-year-old recruit was critically injured in a boxing exercise. WBZ's Julie McDonald is live in Boston. Julie, when the time comes, his brothers and sisters in blue will escort his body.
That's right, Lisa and David. We do expect the body of Enrique Delgado Garcia to be escorted here to the medical examiner's office.
Wait. So what if... So his brothers in blue will be the ones to escort his body, but what if his brothers in blue are the ones who are responsible for his death? Now, I don't know if that's true or not yet, but this is very fresh. So
in Boston, sources tell the WBZI team that the 25-year-old was pinned with a badge in his hospital bed today, and on life support in a Worcester hospital. He was sworn in as a
Worcester.
A terrible tragedy at the State Police Academy in New Braintree. Sources tell the WBZI team trainee Enrique Delgado Garcia died after suffering critical injuries in a boxing exercise just weeks before graduation. His dream of becoming a trooper, now a horrifying nightmare for his family, classmates, and instructors.
Injuries of this nature, not only are they tragic, but they're very, very rare.
Todd McGee spent a decade as the Academy's defensive tactics coordinator. He implemented many safeguards to prevent injury.
Well, I know that, but you know what I mean. I mean, like, if it happened the way that people are talking, it happened.
Trainees are paired by size and ability, and those with boxing experience can't participate.
16-ounce gloves, headgear, some type of groin protection, someone monitoring, making sure that the combatants are that they are engaged in something that is controlled. The instruction certainly shouldn't be to go and knock your fellow trainee's head off.
The exercise is designed to teach trainees how to handle violent and unpredictable situations they'll likely encounter on the job. It takes place months into the academy when trainees have developed more confidence and skills.
Because the last thing that we would want is for a recruit to graduate, go out into the real world, and have never been in a confrontation while they're now issued pepper spray, a firearm, a baton, weapons around their waist. And so the ultimate objective was to make sure that they could test themselves and realize and have that realization that they could work through some type of confrontation.
And this is, of course, an unbearable loss for the Delgado Garcia family, but also for the young man's new law enforcement family. The months-long academy is a grueling process, and classmates form a lifelong bond. The 90th RTT is supposed to graduate October 9th. Live in Boston tonight, I'm Julie McDonald, WBZ News.
I mean,
It's just heartbreaking. Julie, thank you.
They didn't say anything about it being suspicious.
Tactics training exercise at the State Police Academy in New Braintree. This happened yesterday. State police say he became unresponsive and was taken to a hospital.
It's difficult to see this happen. It's a tragedy.
Law enforcement and security analyst Todd
Isn't that
McGee
the guy
ran the
that
State Police defensive
isn't that the guy that Brian LTL's been having on his channel?
Tactics program in the late 90s. He says before he stepped into the role, the boxing program had been put on hold because of injuries. He brought it back with new safety protocols.
As we reinstated it, the caveat was that we're going to have protections in place and controls in place, such as 16-ounce gloves, headgear, mouth protection, groin protection, that the recruits would be evenly matched.
This latest class started in April. The State Police website says recruits attend a 25-week modified stress live-in academy consisting of over 90 different courses of instruction. In addition to recruit training, the academy hosts in-service training, training courses, and the student trooper program. McGee says the defensive tactics training program included 40 to 50 hours of training and also included the use of force, like using a baton, pepper spray, or handcuffs.
That's the protocol. That's the objective, is to keep people safe. It's unfortunate. Injuries do happen during training. We've seen this in the past, but to this nature, it's very, very rare.
Now, state police did not have an official statement on what happened. I did reach out to the governor's office, and she referred me back to the state police. We're live here in New Braintree. Sharmitz Kitty, WCVB News Center.
All right, let's hear what this one's saying. Everyone's talking about it.
State police say doctors are evaluating a recruit who was critically injured and became unresponsive during a training exercise. Now, last night, the I-team broke the story that the cadet was hurt during a boxing exercise. And as WBZ's Tiffany Chan reports tonight, boxing is a routine part of the state police training program.
The Massachusetts State Police Academy reintroduced the
and it should be, I like that they teach fucking boxing in the fucking police academy. That's great. The problem is that we'll go over his injuries in just a little bit. They're not talking anything about why we're about to talk about this.
The boxing program in the late 90s.
They're not saying anything
like we would maybe think about an MMA event or something like that, or a bare knuckle.
Yeah, like he's telling you. He's telling you without telling you. Todd McGee is telling you without telling you that he's like, I taught hand-to-hand combat in the Massachusetts State Police for over a decade. You know what I mean? So like, this isn't normal. This shouldn't happen. So this gets now here's where we get a little bit more.
Ese golpe tan fuerte a mi hijo que me lo mató.
It's just not right, and I personally.
Ese golpe tan fuerte a mi hijo que lo mató. So she said that the blows that hit him were so hard that they killed him. Jesus, it's so sad. Mike B from the 413, thank you so much. Check out Bear Crawl Incident 2022. Plus names of Sean Rooney 2016, Timothy Shepard, along with 15 classmates in hospital for rubellosis in 1988. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it, Mike.
Personally don't really buy this boxing story.
And first at 11, family and
Let's hear that one more time.
Ese golpe tan fuerte a mi hijo que me lo mató.
It's just not right, and I personally don't really buy this boxing story.
And
okay, so they don't buy the boxing story. The family's like, no way. And you're gonna find out why, because of the injuries. Now, and it breaks my heart hearing that lady, like those blows hit him so hard. They hit my son so hard that they killed him. It breaks my heart to see her.
And first at 11, family and friends absolutely heartbroken and looking for answers after their loved one who was a recruit with the Massachusetts.
Can you imagine that? I mean, how do you lose your son? How do you process that? You lose your son from training. The people who killed him are the ones who are training him to protect himself, training him to survive. That's awful. I can't imagine what that poor woman is going through and what her family is going through. I can't imagine.
Massachusetts State Police died from injuries he sustained during an exercise at the academy. That recruit you see right there, just 25 years old. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. I'm Colton Bradford. Glenn and Priscilla have the night off. Only NBC 10 Boston's Jericho Tran spoke with Enrique Delgado Garcia's family moments after his death. She's live for us tonight from State Police headquarters in Framingham. Jericho, the agency, they released a statement about an hour or so ago about the incident. What are they saying here?
Well, Massachusetts State Police released that statement confirming that Enrique Delgado Garcia experienced a medical crisis during a training exercise. But I spoke with Delgado's family, and they say a training exercise does not explain how he had a broken neck, missing teeth, and brain injuries.
That makes no sense. So he's boxing. In a professional boxing match, if someone's cut, they stop the fight. If someone's cut and it seems like it's not going to stop bleeding, like it could bleed too much, they stop the fight. So he's got a broken neck and his teeth are gone. And if you're wearing boxing gloves, how does that happen? Now, that's possible, but you have to be beating the shit out of somebody without anyone intervening. There's no way that that could have happened like, oops, the round went a little too far. That had to have been a pulverization, if that's a word. I don't know. That's what that had to be. Let's hear his heartbroken mother.
Ay, mi niño.
The cries of a grieving mother.
She said, oh, my son.
Mi hijo era. Ay, mi niño.
The cries of a grieving mother.
¿Por qué se llevó mi hijo? Mi hijo era tan bueno, tan bueno.
My son was so.
Why did they take my son? He's so good. He was so good.
So good. I just want to understand why they took my son.
Ay, mi niño.
Mixed with anger and disbelief.
They killed my cousin. And they run away like cowards.
I miss you.
After the loss of 25-year-old Enrique Delgado Garcia.
He's the best of all of us. All he did was study and run. That's all he ever did.
Massachusetts State Police say Delgado suffered from serious injuries during an exercise at the New Braintree, Massachusetts State Police Academy on Thursday.
Teeth missing, brain injury, that didn't come from boxing, especially a round of 2 minutes.
We spoke with former State Trooper Todd McGee, who helped reinstitute the exercise at the academy, consisting of 2 rounds of boxing where trained fighters were not allowed to take part.
And if you stick to goals and objectives, it should be safe. Can injuries still happen? Yes, but to the level of this degree, you hope not to see something like this ever happen again.
But
see how careful he is when he says?
They're trying to cover it up.
Say his injuries are not consistent with what he would have sustained during a defensive tactics training exercise.
Why
did he get hit so hard that it destroyed his brain and broke all of my son's teeth? He also had a fracture on his neck. My son. Now they're calling for accountability.
They need to thoroughly investigate this, and justice needs to be brought.
And answers from the Massachusetts State Police.
No settlement is gonna freaking bring my cousin back. It's that simple. They know what happened.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And while the family continues to search for answers, the Massachusetts State Police says they'll continue to support the family as much as they can. Delgado was training for 3 months. He was set to graduate in 2 weeks. The Worcester County DA is also investigating this. They say that Delgado was a former employee. In Framingham, Jericho Tran, NBC 10 Boston.
All right. Okay, we just watched that. Okay, so now let's talk about that for a second. I want to be very clear about something before we start diving into this case, because we are going to be speaking this young man's name on this channel quite a bit, okay? Because that family really tugged at my heartstrings. And I want to definitely use my platform to help that family get answers. But I want to be very clear about something. I haven't made up my mind about what happened to Enrique Garcia Delgado. I have not made up my mind about that. Okay. Does it seem fishy? Yes. But where I'm at right now, and I want to be very clear about this, where I'm at right now, what I'm going to be loud about is that the Massachusetts State Police conduct a thorough investigation, or anybody qualified to conduct a thorough investigation into what happened to Enrique Garcia Delgado. So that's all you're going to hear me say. I'm not going to say, oh, Massachusetts State Police murdered him, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to hear me say that stuff. Not yet, anyway. Not yet. I want to be very clear, and I don't recommend anybody else. I mean, do what you want. You know, I'm just saying, it makes more sense to just wait for all of the facts to come out. We don't have all of the facts yet. We have enough facts that would make a rational person want to know more. So, considering, and when I say we have enough facts, not just the facts on this case, but the facts that we know about the Massachusetts State Police so far, those come into play. Make no mistake about that, and I'm not trying to discount that. I'm saying just keep those things into consideration, but don't let them make up your mind yet until more facts on Enrique's case become available. That's all I'm saying. That would be the rational thing to do, in my opinion. But do what you want. KLM, thank you so much. Did you see JC Asinine post on this? I was about to get to that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But yes, I did see that, and we're going to discuss it. Now, of course, our friend, you thought we were done. You thought we were done with Jennifer Coffendorfer. Turns out we're not, and we're not done with Super Chat Dance either.
I think we got a Super Chat. Super Chat. I think we got a Super Chat. Super Chat. Super Chat. Super Chat. I think we got a Super Chat. I think we got a Super Chat.
Haley Hopes, thank you so much. I wonder if the medical examiner will be willing to classify these injuries as a result of physical altercation. Of it will be another officer, John O'Keefe. Yeah, see, that's what I want to be careful about. I don't want to compare this to Officer John O'Keefe too much just yet. Okay, I think we should be very careful about that just yet. You know, but I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, and I'm not going to say that I disagree with you. Because the problem with this is that I'm curious as to the medical examiner. The thing is it was an altercation. You see what I'm saying? Sorry, I had a Vinnie Politan moment. Sorry about that. Vinny just takes me over sometimes. Like it'll come out of nowhere, folks. It'll absolutely come out of nowhere. Like I'll just be like, I'll be like, Massachusetts State Police, and then, and it's like spooky. Vinnie Politan possesses my body sometimes. So I have those moments. So the thing was, it was an altercation. So I don't know. But that's a really good question, because who knows what kind of influence the Massachusetts State Police and who in the Massachusetts State Police has influence over which medical examiner or what's going on. I don't fucking know. That's crazy. Now, this is fun. This is fun. So now somebody took a screenshot of this because I'm blocked. But this is, and I haven't even read this yet. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go over this. I'm gonna react to it. But I reposted it because I didn't want to lose it. And Confidoffer says training is typically difficult at federal and state police training academies. Wow. Okay. Already she's making excuses. Probably going in like the worst direction with the excuse possible, right? Like, if I know Twattendoffer by now, dude, I'm like, okay, she's gonna go in the worst possible direction with this. Like, let's find out. Let's see what happens here. Did Enrique Delgado Garcia have an underlying condition not detected in his physical? Oh my God, lady. He fucking had a broken neck and all his teeth were gone. So let me get this straight, Twattendoffer. Oh, I love this shit. Jesus, you are stupid. Oh my God. So let me get this straight. So he had an underlying medical condition of what? A fragile neck? Don't you have to take a physical before you join the police academy? Wouldn't they have picked up on this underlying medical condition when he went through his physical? You know, when he entered the police academy. Did you go through a physical when you entered the FBI academy, Plattendorfer? Because I feel like you did. I feel like anybody who does did. I'd actually be worried if there were cops out there that couldn't pass a physical. I mean, they think they take a psych test too. You know what I mean? So wouldn't they have picked up on this pre-existing physical condition that you're talking about here? Shouldn't they have? So there goes your fucking excuse number one. And what fucking medical condition? Fucking severe gingivitis and a fucking severe gingivitis and a fucking fragile neck. Low calcium in the neck specifically, and his teeth. Makes no sense. This lady worked for the FBI, people. I'm not even halfway through this fucking post yet. Did they teach the carotid, the carotid hold, and it was held too long? It was boxing, bro. Was he practicing taking? I don't even know what that is. Maybe that's a hold in a boxing. I don't even know. Was he practicing taking a non-compliant person into custody? And during the struggle, he was mortally injured? No, it was boxing. Oh my God. As soon as I give her the benefit of the doubt, dude, as soon as I give her the benefit of the doubt, she fucks it up. She fucks it up. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe in boxing, maybe that's a boxing term. I don't know. And then mortally injured from practicing taking a non-compliant person into custody. And during the struggle, he was mortally injured. Explain to me, Jennifer Twattendoffer, explain to me how someone becomes mortally injured with all their teeth knocked out and a broken neck from practicing with a non-compliant, who would be another police officer, by the way, a non-compliant practicing. Why would that police officer be trying to kill him, apparently? Mike B from the 413, thank you. Caratod hold his police training name for chokehold. That's what I figured. I just didn't know for sure. Okay, thank you so much. They were boxing, dummy. There, now I can say that with confidence. They were boxing, you fucking moron. You Momo. Then I don't know, but I know there is often blood, bruises, concussions, and consciousness, and sometimes broken ribs and limbs that have resulted during new agent training classes. You have to prepare for battle against people who want to kill you, but no one should die in training. Yeah, no shit. God bless this young 25-year-old who is training in service, community, and state. Yes, God bless him indeed. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Jesus, this lady is something else. What was I about to go over? I was about to go over at least one more thing. Oh, yeah, hold on. Oh, this is where she talks. Never mind. You guys wouldn't be interested in that. Well, guys, give me just 1 second. I will be right back. Give me 1 second here, folks. Okay, thanks for waiting, guys. I appreciate you. Appreciate your patience. Okay, so what we're gonna do real quick here, folks, it's that time. It's that time, folks. We are opening up the phone lines. The number is right here. So call in. Actually, the phone lines aren't open. Give me 1 second. All right. Now the phone lines are open. Now, while we're waiting for a call, the link to Karen Reed's Defense Fund, if you guys want to support it, is pinned to the top of the chat as usual. So if you're feeling generous, please feel free to do that. She could use all the help she can get.
Call from Sheba.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Sheba.
What's up, Sheba?
Hi.
That reminds
Tampa,
me,
Florida.
It reminds me of that commercial, man, from the 80s where there was a harp. It went boom, Sheba. It was cat food. Sheba cat food.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Sheba.
Yes. When I was in school, people used to bark. And then when the cat food came out, people would meow.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up.
No worries. I was just reading what whoever that was that wrote that comment about the medical stuff.
Okay.
And the word is the carotid.
Carotid.
That is, yes. basically being choked. How in the world could a carotid hold be what caused a fractured skull? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. Oh, sorry. I just got a text. So what's really funny is you guys know this is totally off the subject. So I go on YouTube today just to scroll, and my news feed is blasted with the fact that Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro got in a fight on stage in Boston when they played live last night. And I have tickets to one of their upcoming shows in another city. So I was like, I really hope this doesn't cancel the tour. So anyway, yeah, I was like, what the fuck? But okay. Sorry, go ahead.
How did you pronounce that word again?
I have no idea because I'd never seen that word before.
The carotid arteries in your neck.
The carotid artery makes perfect sense. I've heard that word 100 times, 1,000 times, a million times.
That's what that is, the carotid hold.
Right. So, I mean, okay, it makes sense now that you explain it.
Right. So I'm not sure, like, if that FBI person or whoever it was, it doesn't make sense what they wrote.
Right.
So, medically.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, Sheba. Thanks for calling.
I know, I'm the first caller.
You are. Awesome. Thank you, Sheba.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Call from
Mike. You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, it's Mike D from 413.
Mike B from 413. I love it. What's up, buddy?
Hey, let me make sure I can stay connected here. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, if I'm still connected, yeah. So, it's pronounced carotid chokehold, and it's used by wrestlers, special forces, and police are no longer supposed to be using it after the George Floyd incident.
That's interesting. Now, before we go on, is everybody who's going to call to correct my grammar, to correct my vocabulary, because I didn't know the word carotid hold? Okay. Is that what's going to happen here? I'm just giving you shit, Mike.
No, I don't care at all. I've been a paramedic for many years in Western Mass.
Right on.
Like I commented before, this is not the first time Mass State Police have had a death at the academy. Back in 1988, they had one. Him and 15 classmates got admitted to the hospital for what's known as rhabdomyolysis, when you get dehydrated so bad that your muscles break down and release a dangerous chemical into your bloodstream and kidneys. Because they ran recruits for 12 hours in the middle of July heat.
Wow.
With no water break.
Wow. So I mean, well, but the only person we heard say that was Coffindoffer, so it doesn't fucking matter. You know, like,
yeah,
we know that that's not what happened.
Yeah, we definitely don't. And they tried to cover it up in 88 too.
Right. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know exactly what the nature of everything is. I'm not going to talk about it and speculate as to what happened because they don't have enough facts to responsibly speculate. You know what I mean? I don't know who was involved. I don't know exactly what the situation was. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm very careful about that. But right now, where I'm at is it merits investigation because it sure as shit doesn't sound like it happened the way that they're saying it happened. And the family's really pissed about it. And the family was making a whole lot of sense when they were talking about it. Like the cousin, he was making a whole lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
So, my pledge is to them that I'm going to push that there is, keep talking about this as any updates become available and keep it out there just to make sure that there's at least an investigation.
I noticed that the comment was from state police was from Colonel Mon, not the new guy coming in. I'm one of the new guys who saw all this and decided, fuck this, I'm out.
Oh, shit. Look at me, dude. I'm a rebel, and I got cops as mods in my chats and shit, dude. Like, it's pretty wild, man.
Yeah. But no, that's what I'm thinking now. I'm wondering if the incoming new colonel is
Leave me
watching
alone.
this going, I'm out. If he's watching this shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is just wild. I one thing after the other with the MSP.
I've lived in Mass all 50 years of my life, and they just keep getting themselves deeper and deeper as those 50 years have gone on.
Yeah, this is insane.
Karen Reed, and now this is like the deepest they've gotten themselves.
Yeah, I mean, and how do you do that in the midst of all this? That's what I want to know. Like, if this was malicious, I'm not saying that it was just yet, but if this was malicious, if this kid was murdered, right, and the Massachusetts State Police are trying to cover it up, this is the worst time to try to pull that shit off. Like, because there's a microscope on the MSP right now. So,
without a doubt.
It's like, why are they even... You know what I mean? How could you? That's one of the reasons why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, because I'm just like, you couldn't be this sloppy. You know what I mean? To do some shit like this in the midst of everything going on with Karen Reed and Sandra Birchmore, you can't be this sloppy.
Absolutely.
No.
I mean, you throw Turtle Boy, you throw Justin Root in there as well. Of now this, you know, you got to wonder, did Josh Levy send somebody out to pick up some medical records Friday afternoon?
Right. Yeah, it's just bizarre. This is just bizarre.
Public corruption is like covers so much, especially with an agency like Mass State Police.
I mean, you can't tell me that a patrolman making $200,000 a year is normal or even acceptable. Something that nobody should. I don't know anybody with any common sense who knows anything about any type of budget at all whatsoever who wouldn't look at that and go, wait, what? A patrolman making $200,000? Jesus. You know, that's crazy.
Look at Gillette Stadium when Helena Rafferty is seen all the time there at Patriots games and concerts. Patrolmen working those events, that's a special detail rate of anywhere from $50 to $75 an hour.
Okay.
To watch a football game.
But
you do enough of those a year, yeah, it racks up into your salary.
Isn't that a moonlight?
Your town gets a check from Gillette, and then the town pays you.
Isn't that a moonlighting gig?
Yes, but it still comes in. Gillette Stadium still asked to send a check to Canton, and then Canton puts it in Helena's next paycheck.
Okay. So, but...
And the same thing for any patrolman working that. The same thing would be for any patrolman working the same gig.
But the problem with that is that I'm calling bullshit on that these dudes fucking live in their fucking huge mansions in Canton, and they're making that money by fucking babysitting fucking mosh pitters and stage divers. I don't buy it. I don't buy that that's how they're making their money.
Fair enough. I mean, as a paramedic, I've gotten paid $50 an hour to babysit people and give out Band-Aids at mosh pits too.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. What I'm saying is I doubt that that's what is going on here. You know what I mean? I'm saying
they're getting it for other things and swindling the town. Absolutely possible.
These are police officers that clearly. I mean, what goes on in Canton? You know, are there like big concerts that happen in Canton? You know what I mean? Like, so how many opportunities?
I'm sure they're using the cruisers to deliver for D&E Pizza.
Probably.
When Jim Ferris isn't available because he's got to make a cigarette run.
That's fucking crazy.
But yeah, it's weird to think about. But no, that's how the Gillette Stadium gigs work. They send a check back to Canton. Canton puts in whatever officer's paycheck.
Okay.
Apparently, mainly Helena as chief working there.
Okay, but I mean, what if they're doing it but not showing up? Because I don't get the vibe that these people are out there.
Oh, that was the previous Massachusetts police scandal for the state police.
Right. Okay. So I'm like, I don't.
It was a story Turtle Boy broke.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense because I didn't hear about this. So
they were assigned special radar details on the Mass Pike, which is Interstate 90. They would write tickets on their regular days, but not enter them until the days of their special detail when they would sit at their houses for their special detail for 4 or 8 hours.
Right. They would just chill at home and be on the clock.
And showing the tickets being given out on those days.
Right.
A bunch of them got indicted by the feds. I think it was even before Rachel Rollins,
That's what I
whoever was
mean.
U.S. Attorney then.
Okay, see, I didn't even know about that, and I was already guessing that that's what they were doing because they're fucking bunch of lazy fucks. You know?
If you look into the Connecticut State Police, they're being investigated for the same thing right now. They have troopers being... Connecticut, next state over, has troopers being investigated for it now.
Yeah, that's what fucking... Remember Reservoir Dogs? That's what they told Vic.
Yeah, briefly. Yeah, I vaguely remember that movie.
Yeah, that's what they told Mr. fucking, what was it? Mr. No, that wasn't Mr. Blue. Whichever one Michael Madsen was, Vic Vega. So they say, all right, well, we'll get you a job working at the dock with the PO, and then we have somebody who's down there fucking clock you in and out. You know?
Yeah, it's basically a no-show job.
And you don't do shit. You know what I mean? You don't even have to go down there. There's somebody, one of our workers down there will just fucking clock you in and out, and you show the stub to the fucking PO officer. So it's kind of the same thing where they're just fucking like, okay, well, we'll just say we're making this kind of money and we're on the clock doing this and this and this, but we're not. We're really just chilling at home. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I just saw somebody commenting in the chat. Why is the chief working at Gillette Stadium on overtime? Helene is one of the several chiefs, from what I understand, working that.
Mr. Blonde,
who
right.
are owed favors. That are owed favors by like Foxborough Police, and one chief scratching another chief's back is why Helene is allowed to work there as a chief, and the fact that the select board doesn't care of Canton.
No, they sure fucking don't. They sure don't, man. Like, it's crazy how the select board just treats the people of Canton just like they just don't exist. Fucking why?
And here's one thing that really bugs. The thing that bugs me the most is the current chairman, Michael Laughlin.
Okay.
Does he not realize that his brother Lucky was going to be the scapegoat for this had Karen Reed not woke up at 5 a.m.?
I don't think he gives
decided to go look.
I don't think he gives a shit.
I mean, that's what gets me the most is like he doesn't realize that his brother was about to be the scapegoat.
Right.
Because that was his plow route.
Right.
It's clear they don't care. They don't, you know, I doubt MSC really cares about this poor kid Enrique. They definitely didn't care back in '88 when that officer died. They didn't care in the bear crawl incident where half the academy instructors got pulled out of the academy.
Right.
Back in 2022, where they made them do bear crawls on hot pavement in the middle of summertime, and most of them got burns and wound up in local ERs.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's wild, man. Yeah, there needs to seriously be.
Like I said, the kid in '88 who died,
and there's a
15 of his classmates wound up in the hospital too.
There's a new colonel.
He's incoming. I'm betting I don't think his start date is yet, but think about it. He's probably looking at all this going, I believe he's looking at going, fuck this, I need out of his contract.
It hasn't happened on his watch. You're right. I don't think he started he started the job.
But my question is he still coming?
Well,
is he still coming now that he's seen all this? Or is he going to be like, no, I don't need this headache in my life?
Well, no, he needs to. That's the whole point. He's appointed by the governor. He's going to take the gig. You know, if the whole point,
yeah, I see your point on that, but it's like
if the whole
but
point if the whole point of putting him in there is because the MSP clearly needs reform, then this is all the more reason for him to be like, yeah, I really need to get in there. Shit, you know. He's not going to be like, oh my God, this is terrible. That defeats the purpose of why he's being put in there in the first place.
All right, yeah. Somebody just confirmed in the chat. It was 19 had to go through some sort of medical emergency, either ER visit or the infirmary at the academy.
That's
due to the bear
wild,
crawl.
man. That's fucking wild.
Because the instructors decided to make them do bear crawls across the pavement in the middle of July.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. All right. Hey, thanks for calling, Mike. I'm going to take the next caller, okay? You're going to give people
Later, man. Bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Call.
Lost him. Lost him. Get somebody else. All right. You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Yo, what's up?
Not much. Who am I speaking with?
Nada, I just want to talk about the pay detail, how we do it in New York City.
Okay, what's your name, bud?
It's your moderator, Scott.
Oh, hey, what's up, Scott?
What's up? Just chilling. It was cutting out with the person you had on before me. But the pay detail, how it's done in New York City is the cops, detectives, and bosses. It goes all the way up to, I think, the rank of lieutenant.
Okay.
And what happens is they sign up for it online on a computer. The pay details in New York City vary from doing pay detail at TD banks all throughout New York City to Levi's stores to City Fields where the Mets play and Yankee Stadium. Okay. So I know cops that were making actually like the salaries. Cops, I think when I left, the cop salary when I left 7 years ago was probably about 140, 150.
Okay.
And these guys were doing over 200. But here's the thing about the paid detail. Paid detail money is not pensionable money.
Okay.
Okay. Even though it goes on as overtime, that money's getting paid from from TD Bank going to the city of New York. Then the city of New York pays the cops or the bosses, and they also take a cut of that.
Huh.
That's how it's done here. Yes, they take a cut of it. So if the cops, so what they do is they barter it out, and NYPD actually took this from, I believe, Miami PD, the way Miami PD and a couple of departments in Florida do it.
Okay.
So if a cop is making, say the city wants to charge TD Bank $65 an hour for a cop, okay? Right off the bat, the cop's only going to be making about $55 an hour. The city's taking their $10 cut to go in their pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Now,
there's incentive to put people on those details.
Yes, but it's all voluntary. None of that is mandatory. It's all voluntary.
Sure, of course, but that's what I'm saying is that's the incentive to get them to do it, is to give them a cut.
Absolutely.
Right. So that they could talk their guys into doing it.
Exactly. Now, also with that, there is the cops don't have to take police action either. Basically, what it is standing there and looking like a monument. You're supposed to be there in uniform just to
have a police presence, to provide a police presence.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, I don't know what it is up there, but while you were talking to the other guy on the phone, I actually started looking up the salaries.
Okay.
The top guy, all right, when you go to Canton PD and look at the salary, the top guy right there, I think did like 265 or 245 last year.
It's fucking
But then if you scroll down, it gives his salaries for each year for like the last 5 years, and you could click on it.
Okay.
Now it's weird. It's weird because say last year he did 245 or 265. Then like the previous year he only did 65.
Okay.
And then the year before that it was high again. And then it was low. So I mean, I don't know what the pattern is.
Right.
Like, why would you do something like that? Unless the guy gets hurt every year, and I know guys that actually would go out hurt line of duty. I know guys that would go out hurt line of duty every year.
Yeah, I know
because when
the
you're out
Army
line of
term for
duty-
this. I know the military term for this. Those are called sick call rangers.
Yeah,
Sick call
it's
rangers.
also tax-free money.
Right.
It's also tax-free money.
Wow.
So, yeah, when you're out line of duty, whatever money you make, your salary is what you call tax-free. So, I don't know. There's something definitely going on up there.
Yeah,
If that's the case, let Rita know. I'll come out of retirement and I'll come up there for I'll even do it for like 175, 180.
That'd be interesting. Right?
Yeah.
Imagine that shit. Like you go in there and just fucking apply at the Canton PD and just see what it's all about. What's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely
That's what they
something
need.
going on.
That's what they need. They need somebody to fucking go in there and just fucking go Leonardo DiCaprio style. You know,
They need an outside.
Go
They
through
need
go through the academy, get hired, go through everything, and then just document everything.
All right. Well, let's start off with this. My fat ass ain't making it through an academy.
No,
anymore.
yeah.
You want to put
Well,
me in,
I mean, you're talking on here. You're talking on here. I guarantee you that there are haters listening as well. So,
well, that's fine. Yeah, my ass ain't making it through an academy anytime soon. But now let's get on to the Massachusetts State Police. All right. When I went to the academy in 1991, there was no boxing in the NYPD academy.
Okay.
We did have defensive tactics where they showed us what to do with boxing, but we couldn't actually do it.
Okay.
But we did do I think it was jiu-jitsu, I think it was.
That makes sense.
They had a couple martial arts instructors that, you know,
that's if you're gonna focus on one martial art in police academy training, jiu-jitsu seems in theory to make the most sense, simply because you're trying to subdue someone without actually striking them. You're trying to subdue. The idea is to subdue and get them to submit. So jiu-jitsu is probably the best thing to do. That makes sense. Okay, sorry, go ahead. I just like to think out loud when I learn things.
It's good. You got to remember, when I went through the academy in '91, New York City was still at the tail end of the crack epidemic.
Jesus, man.
So
I was 16 in '91.
Dude, I just turned 57 last week.
I was 16 in '91. I was like, I was wearing fucking combat boots with fucking frayed fucking cargo shorts and flannel shirts, blasting Pearl Jam.
Yeah, and a few years before that, I was in a pair of shell top Adidas with Tigris shirt and pinstripe league pants. You know.
And I had a mohawk with long dreads.
No, I had a mullet. I had a mullet
in the 8th grade, but we called it a teja. And in Hialeah, you call that a teja.
Yeah.
Like it's
my best friend.
It's not the same thing. A Hispanic mullet is a teja.
My best friend growing up and from high school moved to Hialeah in '86.
Oh wow!
So
okay,
hey, that's where he moved. But getting back to Massachusetts State Police, I'm actually surprised that they still do the boxing. I guess departments have different regulations, and being that New York City is run by a bunch of morons, somebody gets a broken pinky, they're suing for everything.
Yeah.
So cut that out. Like we can't even, like other departments. I mean, I'm sure they do it in Massachusetts, where when you're given mace, a mace canister, you got to get maced to find out what it's like.
Yeah.
In case the wind comes.
I've heard that.
Somebody. New York City, we're not. We don't want to get sued by the cadet. Nope.
And you have to get tased. You have to get tased too, don't you?
Nope. Absolutely not.
No.
Nope. They don't want to get sued.
No. Oh, okay. So I thought that when they would, there's a lot of, at least a few departments where if they use tasers, they have to if you're going to carry a taser as a cop, you have to get tased first.
Yes, most departments do. Real departments do.
Right.
You got to remember something. You're talking about New York City.
Okay.
You know, the whole game plan has changed from enforcement and locking up criminals to locking up the police commissioner now for basically RICO. You know, him and his brother. If you've been following the news, but the injuries to me that are reported from the Canton, Massachusetts State Police Academy don't make sense. I can tell you firsthand, in my 26 years, I'm 5'5", okay? I fought guys that were over 6 foot, okay? And the most that happened to me was a severely sprained neck, okay? And a couple broken fingers from punching the guy's head or missing and hitting the cement floor or the wall, okay? How this officer sustained missing teeth and a head injury like that, there is no way he was wearing headgear and a mouthpiece, okay? Somebody needs to step up, whether it be the recruits in the academy or the instructors need to grow a set of balls and come forward and say what actually happened. Because the closest I've ever seen to injuries like that on a cop was a few years ago. A cop reached into a car during a car stop, and the guy took off and dragged him. And the cop fell off the car and cracked his head. And that's how he sustained similar injuries to what the officer in Massachusetts State Police sustained. So this whole, oh, it was a tragic accident, or, you know, it happened during a training session. I'm not buying that. I'm not.
I mean, it sounds fishy.
But,
it sounds fishy,
yeah,
but all I'm saying is that I want an investigation because I don't know enough.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it because you're saying, okay, you went through the police academy. You have more frame of reference to you know what I mean? I don't have enough. I don't know what you know. So I have to just to be responsible. Now, Ron, the beeping is other people calling and Ron, you're upset again. And I don't know why. Like you're triggering him, Scott. Okay, tough guy.
He'll get over it. He'll get over it.
Yeah.
Or he won't.
But Ron, it's okay, buddy. This is a safe place. Okay. Me and Scott, we love you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll rock you to sleep.
I'll give you my address, Ron.
Ron. We love you. This is a safe place, buddy. Don't be so upset. Smile, dude. Smile, bro.
Well, with a forehead like his, would you smile?
It's just so bitter. So sad. So sad. Such a waste of energy. Yep. All right.
Listen, I'll let you get to some other people's.
All right, Scott. Thanks for calling, buddy.
Well, good night.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, Ron. You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hello there.
Hello there.
No sabía que hablaste español.
Sí, yo hablo un poquito español, sí.
Muy bien. Anyways, I live in Scottsdale. My name's Laura. I have called you before.
Another Arizona person. Okay.
Yeah. So my philosophy is this. You've got these big old-time cities that have generations upon generations of the police force with the good old boys like New York and Boston and LA and Chicago and so forth. Then you got your, Andy Griffith, Fife, whatever his name is, Barney Fife kind of police departments. They own the little players. And then you have newer progressive cities like Scottsdale's been around for a long time, but it's only gotten big in the last 50 years, like Las Vegas and all of them. And those police departments from the bottom up did things right. In the more modern era, they don't have the problem of all these good old boys. But what they're dealing with in Massachusetts, in my opinion, is you're trying to eradicate a mentality that they have of going back decades of this superiority complex that they have about it's their way and they own this place and everything's going to go their way and everyone's corrupt and just accept it. But there are police forces that do it the right way. You look
Right.
at the Las Vegas cops, they'll explain it to you. This stuff doesn't fly in places like this,
Right.
except for maybe LA.
Right.
So it needs, like everybody says, an outside, like Rita says, outside company to come in and rebuild it from the ground up. You've got to break the culture.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole point. I mean, you know, if you're going to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs, and unfortunately, there's going to be some fallout, you know? There's going to be some fallout from all this, and that fallout is going to be that some guilty people are going to walk, you know, and that's the price you pay for having a dirty system. That's why we need integrity in our law enforcement agencies and in our district attorney's offices.
Right. They need to rip the Band-Aid off and just do it the right way from the ground up.
That's
Start
how
over.
it is.
It
Yeah.
needs to be modern. It needs to be a new mentality and needs to be done correctly. And they need to self-police themselves.
Right.
Not enough of them see something, say something because they get coerced into becoming crooked, and it just keeps happening over and over. The new recruits come in with a fresh pair of eyes and fresh thinking, and little by little they're like, you better do it this way or you're not going to survive around here, and the crookedness just perpetuates. I mean, it was scary to me that Trooper Paul, when he was doing his crash scene investigation, had a trainee with him. I mean, this is how it happens. My first thought was, oh, great. Now another guy that does it wrong.
Yeah, that's right. That's how I saw that too. Was like, this guy as a trainee, like the whole legacy of the Massachusetts State Police is doomed moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, what the
There's
fuck?
another 30 years. Another 30
Nobody's
years.
gonna get
Trooper
justice.
Paul.
Yeah, nobody's gonna
Exactly.
get fucking justice. Like, what?
So until they get rid of the crooked, corrupt ones who, as Alan Jackson says, turn the other way, look the other way, it's going to keep happening. And they're
Right.
going to have to get rid, I hate to say this, the term, but they're going to have to drain the swamp. I don't really like the term, but it does say something very important.
Well, I mean,
which is
it's just
not
because
gonna change until you change it.
the term has been beaten into our heads so many years already, but you're just sick of hearing it. Like the word narcissist, I'm sick of hearing that fucking word.
I know.
But
I'm not trying to be cliche, but
no,
use it for
it happens. Like it applies. Drain the swamp absolutely fucking applies here. Like if it's ever applied to anything, it applies to what's going on in Canton and in the Massachusetts State Police Department and in the Norfolk County DA's office. You have to drain the swamp. It has to be done.
Right. And this poor man who's probably spent his 25 years of life just doing everything right to become a trooper, and somebody looked the other way and did things the way they always do and broke the rules, didn't go by the guidelines, it got too far. And y'all know it was not some weird medical thing that happened. Somebody beat the crap out of him and killed him. And, pray to God that his family gets justice. That mother,
Now,
I have a 27-year-old. I understand. It would be horrifying.
I am willing to, like, clearly the kid got beat up, right? Clearly this kid got beat up. Beat to death.
So did John.
Now,
So did
but I'm not ready to compare the two yet. I'm not ready to go there yet. Clearly this kid got beat up. The thing is we don't have the circumstances yet. We don't have the facts of the circumstances of what happened to Enrique yet. So we just got to wait for that. I don't want to. We can't let some new situation come in and then perpetuate the whole conspiracy theory mentality. We don't want to do that. Like, we got to look at this logically. We got to look at the evidence, and it's too early to determine that there's any type of corruption or any type of cover-up going on. We don't know what's going on yet. So
anyways, they have some splaining to do, and let's pray to God that a proper investigation is done. Proper conclusions are drawn based on medical facts, and on the crime scene and the people involved. Everybody gets interviewed properly. Everything gets investigated properly.
Right.
You're probably going to get the answer. What I'm talking about, John O'Keefe, and I'm not comparing the two in that way. I'm comparing it in now that they're under a microscope, perhaps this investigation will be done tip top.
Right.
Because they're being looked at, they're not going to have all these, what chain of custody and, we talked to them in their living room, all of that stuff, that they're not going to try to get away with blatant, ignoring of those standards that are set in place for them that they so frequently ignore, that this better be done by the book. And
Right.
hopefully the poor man doesn't die in vain and some changes are made.
Agreed.
That's what I mean. And go to some of these police departments that are successful and don't have the amount of corruption and see how they do it. That's what Rita wants. That's why she wants an independent third party
That's
to
it.
do an investigation and audit, because there are plenty of
Yeah,
cities that are
Rita
doing it
hasn't
right.
Rita hasn't made an accusation yet to any
No.
of those officers who are getting those large salaries. She hasn't
Right.
made an accusation as to them obtaining it foully yet. She has made allusions to it by saying we want an audit. We want to make sure that
And not by the
our
same
taxes
people
are
that were
going to the to things that we need here. So
Right.
so I love that about Rita, is she's saying all we want is an investigation. All we want is a
and
third
not by the
party
people that we're
audit.
not by the people they're trying to investigate. It needs to be done by an outside independent party.
Third
no
party,
skin in
right.
the game. They're just going to tell you what they see.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I just wanted to say that, recently we had a run-in with the police. My son was domestic violence situation. He was the victim. And the way it was handled here was so professionally. The judge was professional. The police were professional. Everything's been done by the book. And it made me feel really proud that not once I look at
It's
the cop
nice when
thinking,
you
"What's
see that
this
happen,
say?"
doesn't it? It's real nice. I've covered
Very refreshing.
I've covered a few trials where I was just like, man, this is justice happening right in front of my face, and I, sometimes
and it
got
was a
even
man.
teary-eyed over it.
It's a man who was the victim of domestic violence, and it
Yeah.
was handled like he was anybody else.
Right.
And he has a 2-year order of protection. The person had to move out, and he's very well protected. And the law stood on his side because he was clearly injured by somebody else. And I'm not going to name names, but they didn't just go, "Oh, really? Because, what did you do?" And they didn't do any winky winky. They looked at it fair and square and saw that he was a victim of an attack, and they handled it properly, and nobody had to BS anybody.
Right.
So I'm proud of where I live, and I would like Massachusetts and Canton and all the places around there to be able to live like I do, not worried about what are the police going to make of this? What are they going to do about it? I mean, how are they going to point it? What are they going to make it look like? Just do it right.
Right.
Thank you. Where did you learn Spanish?
I'm half Dominican.
Oh, really? I grew up in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
My parents are New York Jews who moved there when I was 1. So you never know. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
But-
You never know. Yeah, I'm the lightest skinned person in my family.
There you go. I'm not by blood Latino, but I've been to Santo Domingo at least 50 times. as
Oh
a
wow.
kid.
You've been there
I
a lot
know.
more than I
And
have.
an adult.
Yeah,
Well, my dad did refrigeration, and I had a plane, so we would go all over.
Oh, wow,
St.
okay.
Bart's, Dominican Republic, St. Thomas. Yes, I had a rough childhood. It was horrible. I'm joking. But it's good to have culture. It's good to learn other languages. And just today, somebody stopped by to do some yard work, and they didn't know how to talk to me. And I was like, "Hablas español?" And the look of relief on the guy's face, like, "Oh, thank God, someone understands me." And he did a beautiful job. So it's good to know a little bit more about you. And thank you for listening to me. But I hope they will take a fresh set of eyes to see what it is that they might be doing wrong. Maybe not, but if they are, take some advice from police forces that work properly and see what you can learn from it. And don't be so proud that you have to keep perpetuating and repeating the same history over and over again.
Right. Right on.
Thank you. for
All right.
listening,
Thank
and
you,
I know
Laura.
you have people that want to talk to you. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Laura.
Have a great night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oop, I lost that last caller.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, Kylie.
I'm sorry. Who's this?
Kylie.
Kylie?
Yes, correct. From Australia.
Oh, right on. How are you doing, Kylie? Are you calling from Australia?
I sure am, yeah.
Wow, that's an expensive call. What time is it over there? Like 7 a.m.? It's like in the morning, right?
9:30 in the morning here.
Oh, wow. Wow, what's up? How are things down under?
Oh, beautiful, beautiful weather up here in North Queensland. My football team won last night, so even better.
Your football team? Which one?
Yeah, Cowboys. So made it through to the next lot of finals.
Okay. Right on.
Yes. I just wanted to ring up and say hello from Australia and loving everything you do.
I love it. Thank you. Thanks for listening all the way in Australia. That's amazing. Fantastic.
No, that's all right. Yeah. And everyone I tell, like I talk about with Karen Reed and, my mate Elaine, you're shitting me. So it is. It's like a bad book.
That's wild. All right.
It is wild, but yeah. But free Karen Reed from Australia, from sunny North Queensland.
All right. Free Karen Reed from Australia. I love it. Thank you, Kylie. Awesome.
And love you and Melanie together. I can't wait for you two to hook up and do another show together. It's hilarious.
We will. Yeah. I look forward to that again myself. I like our dynamic. We have fun.
I do too. I love the respect you use too, and watch the old language when you're on her channel and stuff. It just shows the respect that you've got for people, and you're awesome.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, Kylie. I appreciate you.
No worries. Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye. Wow, that was cool. Kylie from down under. Get on the right side of the road, you pelican.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, Will, honestly, I'm like probably 30 minutes behind on your stream, so I have no idea where you're at.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, it's not that, Dina. I just wanted to say that mom, she ripped my heart out.
Yeah.
I just ripped it out. I just don't even know how to move forward. And the thing that bothers me the most.
She gave me vibes from like people in my own family, and I was just like, yeah, wild, yeah. And you hear the cousin say he was the best one of us. What the fuck? Yeah, I get it. It's crazy. Thank you, Charlie, for your membership.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I just don't want to get like emotional talking about it, but I just feel like it's just going to go away. Like nobody's going to pay attention to it.
Not if we keep talking about it,
Yeah, you guys can keep talking about it, but
we got so many eyes.
Holly
Here's how it is. Now everybody's free to talk about whatever the fuck they want, but I'm saying if this is something that merits, because it obviously merits further investigation, but if it turns out that it merits beyond, like if the investigation shows things that are in some way, where it involves something shady going on in the MSP, and people who are talking about Karen Reed and Sandra Birchmore talk about this as well, well, then it's good. It's always going to be in the light. You know what I mean? So let's just take it day by day, see what happens. There's no reason to worry that it's not going to get out in the open just yet. It's out there. I had 1,000 people just on YouTube strong paying attention. People are talking about this. I wouldn't be surprised if it starts trending soon, because we're talking about a dead 25-year-old kid with a broken-hearted family who was killed training to do the very thing that he should have survived, because he was training to survive. It's the irony is horrible. So I think that we just it's very early, so let's wait for a little more facts to come out. But we will keep asking questions, and we will keep it out in the open.
Yeah, we will.
Sure.
But
I got to applaud.
But the news cycle is garbage.
It was, but I got to interrupt you there, because Boston 10 covered it well. Boston 10's the only channel that showed the family grieving and pissed off, and I applaud Boston 10 for their coverage of this case, because they covered everything. They said they gave the family a voice, where they were speaking out, saying there's no way that this happened by accident. There's no way, so that, I applaud Boston 10, them,
I applaud Boston 10 too, but I'm not going to lean into Boston 10. I'm going to lean into Howie Carr and Grace Curley.
Okay.
Because they're on 3 hours a day, each of them. Howie's on 4 hours a day, and he was on this already. And so, literally, if you want to keep something in the news cycle, you go to these people.
Right.
And I just hope everybody kind of supports Howie and Grace, because locally, they're the only real news. They're the only ones telling us about what's happening down Cape Cod, what's happening, covering everything that Turtle Boy's talking about, whatever he leans into. They're not scared. And so we have to not be scared, and we have to support these people who are actually telling us what's happening locally. And that's my spiel for tonight.
Right on. Yeah, no, I think
you have a wonderful night, Will.
All right.
You have a wonderful night, and thank you.
You too, not that, Dina. Thank you for calling.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Good night, hon.
Good night. I'll take one more call, guys. One more call. Yeah, Esty, you're right. Boston 10, I'm real impressed with Sue O'Connell on Twitter lately. I'm really they seem to just be kind of like, hey, fuck the bullshit already, like we're gonna talk about this as much as we're gonna push the envelope here as far as getting the truth out. And I like it. At least they're doing it more than anybody on mainstream media, anybody else. And I feel bad, because they were the only people I talked to when I was in Boston. And I was like, yeah, because somebody, I think it was Paul, that was like, do you want to interview the Glare? And I was like, they don't want to interview me. I don't have nothing to say good about mainstream media.
Call from
Suzanne.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh my God, Will, it's Suzanne.
Suzanne who?
Suzanne Cleveland.
Oh my God, Suzanne Cleveland. Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. You did it. You did it for the first time tonight. You found the 1% that I would disagree with you on. I am shook.
Shook on what?
So I was listening to most of the last couple of calls. I had to turn it down so that I could hear you. And you were saying that, sort of we need to see this play out, and it just started, and the investigation is underway. And for the first time out of the other 99% of the time that I agree with you and adore you on everything you say, I've got to say absolute bullshit. No way. I don't trust anybody handling these investigations right now. It's already reeking of cover up. And hour by hour, this case is being scrubbed as we speak.
Okay, but you don't know that for sure, is all I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's fair to suspect it, and it's fair to fear it, because they've shown us that there's reason to. But that's all we have. We don't have all the facts of the scenario. We don't have that yet. So that's all I'm saying. If we don't get to cherry pick when we're fact driven and when we're not. You know what I mean? So I'm saying I'm waiting for all the facts here, and then it seems shady, but right now, to me, the only responsible speculation you could do is get to a point where you say this merits further investigation. The family's not satisfied. I want them to really look at this, because this looks like bullshit. So
well, I appreciate your voice of reason. Who knew?
It's important.
Who knew? I know. Well, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. I was with
because
we also
want to be credible. You know what I mean? We want to be credible. If we want people to listen to us, we have to be credible. We want people new. If a new person comes along and says, "Hey, what's up with this Clara guy?" I want them to know that I'm the kind of person that waits for all of the facts before I speculate, and start coming up with theories. You know what I mean? So I want that kind of credibility with people, So in order to do that, even the things that I'm going to be like, oh, I don't like that, I have to be fair about, that's all.
I suppose. I mean, I'm just another one of those highly emotional, impulsive
Sure.
females that, could just.
It's got nothing to do with you being female, though.
Could just end up in jail or dead by my own hands because of the tragedy of losing this fantastic, god of a man that decided to break it off. For example, I mean, there's just too much going on that just reeks of continued cover up and conspiracy. So I'm definitely passionate about it.
Okay.
And having spoken, having had the privilege to speak on Sandra Birchmore today has me in that intensified headspace of, so they just killed another one.
Oh, that's right. You spoke at the standout today.
So I've heard. I couldn't hear a damn thing when I was
speaking. I couldn't hear you either. Because I saw somebody, I guess it was Young Jerks, maybe it was filming it, but he wasn't standing close enough, or you weren't speaking loudly enough, or I don't know. Rita and Mazza were yelling, you know what I mean? So
yeah, well, there's no competing with them, but
right.
it was a loud crowd. I mean, whoever had the microphones got something. I just haven't seen it yet, you know. But it was a privilege even to be there and to speak on the topic in in the company of amazing people, but it's emotional. And when you hear the story dropping about this poor young man, and thank God they're including the point of view of the family in the news story, because that is often undercut.
I just want the MSP and the governor to know we're all watching. We're all watching. That's all. That's where I'm at.
So you're seeing my feed on X right now. I mean, I think I probably said it 10 times.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. But what I'm saying is, that's all. That's where I'm at right now. Is just, okay, like this looks fucked up. So let's see how you handle this, MSP and the governor, whatever the fuck her name is.
We see you, Healy. We see you,
Healy,
Governor Driscoll. We see the bottled, canned shit that you're spewing out in the news, saying this is a terrible tragedy. We're looking into it. Sorry if we don't trust you implicitly with that task, because y'all have been fucking up for a long time.
I mean, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt for the moment, just for the moment, because at least she replaced the chief, the colonel, the head of the Massachusetts State Police. So that sounds like a big step towards reform. It does. So it just depends on what's happening. Was it for show? That hasn't been determined yet. Was that just for show? Was that just to appease the public? Or was it because she is taking steps to make sure that there is a difference and that there is an improvement in the Massachusetts State Police. But all we can do right now is let her know we're watching. We're watching.
Yes. And since you say that, Will, that plays into the fact that, at least I was sort of losing a little bit of hope with the FBI, coming in swinging until the arrest of Matthew Farwell.
Right.
So that did spark a little hope.
See, that's
Daddy did come to pick us up for the visit.
It's not just the people, because obviously they don't give much of a fuck about the people. Now that they know that the U.S. attorney's taking fucking steps, because this arrest of Matthew Farwell is a big deal. And think about it. The arrest of Matthew Farwell, a lot of things happened surrounding that. That's when they announced that the other investigators, around then was when they announced that the other investigators in the Karen Reed case, the Massachusetts State Police, were suspended, or not suspended, but under investigation. That's around the time where Karen Reed had changed her profile picture. That's around the time where sorry, I had something else in mind. I can't remember what it was. I have those brain farts all the time. I apologize.
Well, there were a lot of domino.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like
play.
there's actions that are Kevin Albert being suspended, or the announcement of him of his suspension at the select board, and Chris Albert's apology. That was not long before that arrest. So, there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's these little things that are happening that seem like they could just be for show, but not to show us. They are to show the United States Attorney's Office, hey, everything's all good over here. We're cooperating and we're doing everything on our end. We're making sure we're holding the right people accountable, getting people to fall on their swords and shit. You know what I mean? But the problem is that those people are just small fish. The people that they're really investigating are the ones that are taking these actions and going, excuse me. That's like, dude, I remember being a manager. One of the things that I hated being a manager in any type of food or bar, it's when there would be a corporate inspection, not a health inspection, a corporate inspection, where, and then you're just kind of just, because these people determine whether or not you're going to have a good score. And if I have someone to answer to, like the franchisee, I'm tiptoeing around them. I'm making sure, and I'm kissing their ass and being really nice. And I hated that shit more than anything in the world. That's the feeling I'm getting that they're doing right now, like Chief Rafferty and Michael Morrissey. I think what they're doing right now is they're under investigation. So they're tiptoeing around and going, oh, look what I did over here. I suspended this guy. I'm taking some action. Look, we suspended Michael Proctor. See? Okay, well, we're conducting an investigation into, Tully and Buchanan. It's and Guardino, we're doing this stuff. Don't worry. So that's the vibe I'm getting from these people, because they're under investigation. They're tiptoeing around and kissing the inspector's ass.
Okay. Well, then that's how we close out our night tonight, Will, is that you are now 100% right.
Am I?
You closed out the 99, and I just needed to calm down a peg.
There you go.
I did.
Right.
I needed to calm down a peg, because I want to see the proverbial heads rolling like in real time.
They will. It just takes a little time. You just got to let Josh Levy get that pussy nice and wet. You know what I mean? That's all he's doing. That's all Josh Levy's doing.
And there you have it, Will. You're 100%. You got me there. You got me there.
That's all he's doing. All right,
well, you
Suzanne.
Have a great night.
You too. Thanks for calling.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. That's it for tonight, as far as the phone calls go. You guys are amazing. I really, really appreciate all you guys. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys for all of the likes And for the new subscribers, I hope you enjoy the channel moving forward. I promise very, very soon we will be doing an exclusive live stream on Brian Walsh's case, just to educate ourselves a little bit on that, because I do plan on covering that trial, and I am very, very, very curious as to the difference in the prosecution in his case versus Karen Reed's, when there's going to be a lot of conflicting shit going on there. I'm really interested to see how that turns out. So soon we will be going over Brian Walsh in detail. But guys, all the callers, thank you guys so much. You guys are absolutely awesome, man. Seriously, like this is the best group of people, man. Again, much love to all of you guys that were out there standing out in front of the Canton Police Department and expressing your voices and exercising your First Amendment liberties, and I'm grateful to you for that. Thank you guys for doing that. As an American, I salute you. Thank you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.